The Avengers. The Avengers are Earth's mightiest heroes, formed in 1963 when Iron Man, Thor, Hulk, Ant-Man, and the Wasp united to stop Loki's schemes. What sets them apart from other Marvel teams is their rotating roster system, with membership exceeding 100 heroes throughout their history. The core Big Three of Iron Man, Captain America, and Thor have anchored the team through countless iterations, operating from their iconic Manhattan headquarters, which evolved from the Avengers Mansion to the sleek Avengers Tower. Captain America joined in Issue 4 and quickly became the team's moral center and tactical leader. The Avengers handle threats too large for individual heroes, from alien invasions to reality-warping villains, with their famous battle cry, Avengers Assemble, signaling moments of crisis. They've spawned numerous branches, including West Coast Avengers, New Avengers, and Secret Avengers, each tackling different types of threats. Their Quinjet serves as primary transportation for global rapid response. Major storylines like the Kree-Skrull War, Under Siege, and Avengers Disassembled have defined Marvel's publishing history and influenced every major crossover event since their creation, making them the template against which all other superhero teams are measured. The Fantastic Four. The Fantastic Four hold the distinction of being Marvel's first family, debuting in 1961 before the company was even called Marvel Comics. Created by Stan Lee and Jack Kirby, this team of four gained their powers when cosmic radiation bombarded their experimental spacecraft during an unauthorized mission to beat the Soviets to space. What makes them unique is their fixed roster and family dynamic. Reed Richards, the stretching genius Mr. Fantastic, leads alongside his wife, Sue Storm, the Invisible Woman, her hot-headed younger brother, Johnny Storm, the Human Torch, and Reed's college friend, Ben Grimm, transformed into the Rocky Thing. Unlike other heroes, they operate publicly from the Baxter Building in Manhattan, with no secret identities, treating superheroics as scientific exploration rather than traditional crime fighting. Their adventures introduced countless Marvel Universe cornerstones, including Doctor Doom, Galactus, the Silver Surfer, Black Panther, and the Inhumans. They pioneered exploration of the negative zone and multiverse concepts that became Marvel staples. The team's interpersonal conflicts, particularly Ben's struggle with his monstrous appearance and Johnny's sibling rivalry with Sue, established Marvel's trademark of flawed, relatable heroes struggling with personal problems alongside world-threatening dangers. The X-Men. The X-Men debuted in 1963 as Professor Charles Xavier's team of teenage mutants born with extraordinary abilities, trained at his school for gifted youngsters in Westchester County, New York. The original 5 students, Cyclops, Marvel Girl, Beast, Angel, and Iceman, learned to control their powers while fighting for Xavier's dream of peaceful coexistence between humans and mutants. What distinguishes mutants from other Marvel heroes is their genetic difference. They're born with powers rather than gaining them through accidents, making them feared and hated by the very humanity they protect. The series struggled initially, but was revolutionized in 1975's Giant-Size X-Men Issue 1, which introduced an international team including Wolverine, Storm, Colossus, and Nightcrawler. Writer Chris Claremont's legendary 17-year run from 1975 to 1991 transformed the X-Men into Marvel's best-selling franchise, using mutant discrimination as a metaphor for real-world prejudice, including racism and homophobia. The team operates from the Mansion's high-tech Danger Room training facility and flies the Blackbird jet on missions worldwide. By the 1980s, X-Men titles outsold even the Avengers, spawning over 20 spin-off teams and countless characters who've become cultural icons, proving that stories about outsiders fighting for acceptance resonate universally. The Defenders. The Defenders earn their nickname as Earth's mightiest non-team because they refuse to formalize their organization with charters, bylaws, or official membership rosters. First assembling in 1971's Marvel Feature Issue 1, This group of powerful loners, including Doctor Strange, the Hulk, and Namor the Submariner, come together only when mystical or supernatural threats emerge that the more structured Avengers overlook. Unlike teams with fancy headquarters, the Defenders operate from their separate bases, with Doctor Strange's Greenwich Village Sanctum Sanctorum serving as an occasional meeting point. The core philosophy centers on individualism. Members value their independence too much for permanent commitment, assembling when needed and disbanding immediately after. Silver Surfer frequently joins their cosmic-level battles, while later additions like Valkyrie, Hellcat, and Nighthawk expanded the roster during the team's 1970s heyday. The group has reformed multiple times across Marvel's history, each iteration maintaining that same non-committal structure. Netflix's 2017 Defenders series reimagined the concept as a street-level team featuring Daredevil, Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, and Iron Fist protecting New York City from the mysterious Hand Organization. Whether battling interdimensional demons or organized crime, the Defenders prove that sometimes the most effective teams are those with no interest in being teams at all. The Guardians of the Galaxy. The Guardians of the Galaxy exist in two distinct versions, separated by decades and light years of concept. The original 1969 team operated in the 31st century as freedom fighters against alien oppression, but modern readers know the 2008 relaunch, assembled by writers Dan Abnett and Andy Lanning following Marvel's Annihilation crossover event. This modern lineup transformed D-list obscure characters into household names. Peter Quill, a half-human outlaw calling himself Star-Lord, the deadly assassin Gamora, vengeance-driven Drax the Destroyer, genetically engineered Rocket Raccoon, and the sentient tree creature Groot, whose vocabulary consists entirely of "I am Groot." Operating from nowhere, a space station built inside a severed celestial head, they protect the entire galaxy from cosmic threats while cracking jokes and bickering like a dysfunctional family. The team's headquarters location perfectly symbolizes their approach, taking something dead and broken and making it work. Their spaceship, the Milano in the films, carries them through adventures detailed in acclaimed storylines like War of Kings and the Thanos Imperative. When Marvel's 2014 film adaptation earned $773 million worldwide, it proved audiences craved cosmic adventure mixed with irreverent humor, launching the Guardians from comic book obscurity to Marvel's A-list alongside the Avengers themselves. The Inhumans. The Inhumans are an ancient race created millions of years ago when the cosmic Celestials experimented on early humans, resulting in a genetic offshoot capable of incredible transformations. First appearing in 1965's Fantastic Four issue 45, these beings remained hidden from humanity in their city of Attilan, which has relocated from the Atlantic Ocean to the Himalayas to the moon throughout their history. What makes Inhumans unique is their Terrigenesis process. Exposure to Terrigen mist activates latent abilities, with results ranging from beneficial powers to grotesque mutations that determine social status in their strict caste system. The royal family serves as both government and superhero team, led by Black Bolt, whose voice contains such destructive power that his whisper can devastate cities, while a full scream could theoretically crack planets, forcing him into near-total silence. His wife Medusa controls her long red hair like additional limbs, while teammates include the speedster Makari, the inventor Phastos, warrior Thena, and their massive teleporting dog Lockjaw. Created by Stan Lee and Jack Kirby, the Inhumans introduced genetic manipulation concepts decades before modern bioethics debates. Marvel attempted pushing them as MCU replacements for the X-Men, culminating in a poorly received 2017 television series, though the 2021 Eternals film successfully brought similar celestial created beings to mainstream audiences. The Midnight Suns. The Midnight Suns assembled in 1992 during the Rise of the Midnight Suns crossover event to combat Lilith, the mother of demons, who threatened Earth with supernatural apocalypse. This team consolidated Marvel's horror characters into one dark supernatural strike force, including Ghost Rider Danny Ketch, the original Ghost Rider Johnny Blaze, Vampire Hunter Blade, Living Vampire Morbius, Doctor Strange, and members of the Darkhold Redeemers. Unlike traditional superhero teams operating from gleaming towers, the Midnight Suns had no central headquarters, with members scattered globally, responding to mystical crises wherever demon activity erupted. The 1990s lineup supported 9 ongoing comic series simultaneously, making it one of Marvel's most ambitious publishing ventures during that era. These weren't conventional heroes. Most walked morally gray lines, using dark powers and violent methods against even darker enemies, with Ghost Rider's Hellfire chains and Blade's arsenal of vampire-slaying weapons defining their brutal approach. The team reformed briefly during 2006 and 2007 for different supernatural threats. Their legacy experienced revival when Marvel announced the video game Marvel's Midnight Suns in 2021, updating the concept for modern audiences. The Midnight Suns proved that Marvel's universe needed defenders operating in shadows and fighting with fire, protecting humanity from threats that traditional heroes in bright costumes couldn't comprehend or combat effectively. The Thunderbolts. The Thunderbolts pulled off one of comics' greatest twists when they debuted in 1997's Thunderbolts issue 1, appearing as heroic replacements after the Avengers, and Fantastic Four vanished during the Heroes Reborn event. Readers discovered at issue's end that these new heroes were actually the Masters of Evil in disguise. Baron Zemo masquerading as Citizen 5, Beetle as Max Y, Screaming Mimi as Songbird, Goliath as Atlas, Moonstone as Meteorite, and Fixer as Techno. The shocking revelation was kept secret from readers until publication, making it genuinely surprising in an era before internet spoilers. What made the series compelling was watching some members, particularly Songbird and Atlas, genuinely embrace heroism and seek redemption despite Zemo's villainous schemes. The team evolved through multiple iterations, including Norman Osborn's Dark Reign version, Red Hulk's lineup, and Luke Cage's rehabilitation program treating superheroics as therapy for reforming criminals. The Thunderbolts concept predates DC's modern Suicide Squad film interpretation by nearly 2 decades, establishing the villain redemption team template. Marvel announced a Thunderbolts film as part of the MCU's future slate, though with a different roster than the comics. The original series proved that sometimes the most interesting heroes are those who started as villains, and must earn their heroism rather than those born with it. The Young Avengers. The Young Avengers formed in 2005 without adult permission or oversight, when teenage heroes discovered they shared connections to the disbanded Avengers following the devastating Avengers Disassembled storyline. Created by Alan Heinberg and Jim Cheung, the original 6 included Patriot, Hulkling, Wiccan, Iron Lad, who was revealed as a young Kang the Conqueror, Asgardian, and Kate Bishop adopting the Hawkeye mantle. What made this team groundbreaking was its LGBTQ representation. Wiccan and Hulkling became Marvel's first major gay couple in mainstream comics, with their relationship treated as naturally as any heterosexual romance. Later additions included Speed, A New Vision, Miss America Chavez, and Marvel Boy Noh-Varr. Despite only 2 major runs, the 2005 to 2006 original series and Kieran Gillen's acclaimed 2013 relaunch, the Young Avengers proved culturally significant beyond their page count. Kate Bishop's popularity led to her co-starring in the MCU's Hawkeye Disney Plus series, while the team's emphasis on legacy heroes influenced Marvel's apparent setup for a Young Avengers project in future films. The teenagers rejected adult mentorship initially, though Captain America and Jessica Jones eventually provided guidance. Their youth didn't make them sidekicks. They proved as capable and complex as their adult counterparts, just with different struggles navigating powers, relationships, and identities simultaneously. The Runaways. The Runaways discovered the worst possible secret about their parents in 2003 when they witnessed them performing a human sacrifice as members of the Pride, a supervillain cabal controlling Los Angeles. Created by Brian K. Vaughan, the series followed Alex Wilder, Nico Minoru wielding the blood-summoned Staff of One, Gertrude Yorks bonded to a telepathic dinosaur named Old Lace from the 87th century, Chase Stein, the alien Carolina Dean, and super-strong Molly Hayes as they fled their families and became fugitives hiding in the La Brea Tar Pits location they called the Hostel. What made the Runaways unique was their rejection of traditional superhero tropes. They initially refused costumes and code names, wearing casual street clothes and using their real names while navigating typical teenage drama alongside extraordinary circumstances. Each parent represented a different villain archetype: time travelers, aliens, mutants, dark sorcerers, mad scientists, and mob bosses, making the Pride a comprehensive threat. The series deconstructed the sidekick concept by asking what happens when the kids are good, but the adults are evil. A Hulu television series ran for 3 seasons from 2017 to 2019, becoming Hulu's first Marvel show. The Runaways proved that found family could replace blood family, and that sometimes running away isn't cowardice, but survival, establishing a template for future teen teams. The Eternals. The Eternals are an immortal race created by the cosmic celestials millions of years ago through genetic experiments on early humans, first appearing in 1976 as part of Jack Kirby's ambitious mythology building. These godlike beings possess superhuman abilities, with each Eternal specializing in different powers. Ikaris commands flight and energy projection. Circe transmutes matter at will. Thena serves as their greatest warrior. Ajak communicates with the Celestials and heals injuries, while others like Sprite, Makari the Speedster, Phastos the Inventor, and Gilgamesh the Strongman round out their ranks. They can merge consciousnesses into the Unimind, a collective intelligence far surpassing any individual Eternal's capabilities. Operating from their city Olympia and various Earth locations, the Eternals have secretly guided humanity throughout history while opposing the Deviants, genetically unstable beings rejected by the Celestials. Their immortality and power made them largely uninvolved in typical superhero conflicts, occasionally reformed for cosmic-level threats, but generally maintaining distance from mortal affairs. Marvel's 2021 Eternals film introduced these characters to mainstream audiences, earning over $402 million worldwide while expanding the MCU's cosmic scope and revealing the massive scale of Celestials as planet-sized beings who seed worlds with life. Kirby's cosmic vision finally reached the masses decades after his creation. The New Warriors. The New Warriors represented 1990s youth culture when they debuted in 1990s. Mighty Thor issues 411 and 412, created by Tom DeFalco and Ron Frenz as a team of teenage and college-age heroes forming organically without mentor oversight. The original lineup featured Night Thrasher, a skateboarding vigilante who founded the team, alongside Firestar, Marvel Boy, who later became Justice, Namorita, Richard Rider's Nova, and the kinetic-powered Speedball. Operating from the Taylor Foundation headquarters and later a place called the Crash Pad, these young heroes tackled street-level crime while dealing with youth-oriented social issues presented through early 1990s slang and cultural references. The team underwent multiple relaunches with different rosters, but their most infamous moment came in 2006 when a New Warriors reality television show led to the Stanford incident. During a televised confrontation with villains, an explosion killed 612 people, including 60 children at a nearby elementary school, with team member Speedball as the sole survivor. This tragedy directly triggered Marvel's Civil War event, splitting the superhero community over government registration. Speedball's guilt transformed him into Penance, a self-harming hero whose suit caused him pain. The New Warriors exemplified how 1990s youth marketing influenced comics, and how one team's mistake could reshape an entire universe. Alpha Flight serves as Canada's official government-sponsored superhero team, debuting in 1979's X-Men issue 120 as the organization that originally recruited Wolverine before he joined the X-Men. Created by John Byrne, the team operates under Department H with members organized into tiers: Alpha Flight for active duty, Beta Flight for training, and Gamma Flight as reserves. The core roster includes Guardian James Hudson, wearing a technologically advanced suit, his wife Heather, who later became Vindicator, the orange-furred scientist Sasquatch, mystical shaman, goddess Snowbird, able to transform into Canadian animals, twins Aurora and Northstar, with flight and light powers, the acrobatic dwarf Puck, and the aquatic Marina. Operating from Department H headquarters in Ottawa, the team has disbanded and reformed 4 times throughout publishing history as government funding fluctuated. Alpha Flight made history in 1992 when Northstar became the first openly gay superhero in mainstream comics during Alpha Flight issue 106, a groundbreaking moment for LGBTQ representation. The series explored Canadian identity and national pride, while its characters dealt with uniquely Canadian storylines, from Indigenous mysticism through shaman to French-Canadian culture via Aurora and Northstar. Despite multiple cancellations, Alpha Flight proved that superhero teams could represent nations beyond the United States, paving the way for international teams throughout Marvel's universe. The Illuminati. The Illuminati operated as a secret cabal of Marvel's most powerful leaders, making unilateral decisions affecting Earth's future. Formed after the Kree-Skrull War, but revealed only in 2005's New Avengers issue 7 through Flashback. The membership represented major Marvel factions: Iron Man for the Avengers, Professor X for mutant kind, Doctor Strange for Mystic Forces, Namor for Atlantis, Black Bolt for the Inhumans, and Mr. Fantastic for the scientific community. Black Panther refused membership after their first meeting, recognizing the dangerous precedent of secret rulers, while Captain America objected so strongly that the group wiped his memory of their existence. Meeting in shadows at locations like Doctor Strange's Sanctum Sanctorum, the Illuminati made morally questionable decisions, including shooting the Hulk into space, which led to the Planet Hulk and World War Hulk storylines when Bruce Banner returned seeking vengeance. Their actions sparked intense fan debate about hero accountability and whether powerful individuals should make decisions for humanity without democratic input. The group disbanded after their secret manipulations became public, though they reformed during universe-threatening crises. The 2022 MCU film Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness featured a different Illuminati lineup in an alternate universe. The concept explored how even heroes with good intentions can become authoritarian when operating without oversight or transparency. The Exiles. The Exiles are dimension-hopping heroes, pulled from different alternate Earths, and forced to fix broken timelines, or remain unstuck in time forever. Debuting in 2001 from creators Judd Winnick and Mike McKone. The original 6-member team included Blink as leader, an Age of Apocalypse survivor with teleportation powers, Mimic who could copy abilities, the shapeshifter Morph, Thunderbird, Magnus the son of Magneto and Rogue, and Nocturne, the daughter of Nightcrawler and Scarlet Witch. Guided initially by the mysterious Time Broker, later revealed as an automated system rather than an actual being, the team traveled via pink energy portals to alternate Marvel universes, where single changes created vastly different realities. Their headquarters existed in the Crystal Palace, a nexus point between dimensions where they could briefly rest between missions. Unlike other teams fighting villains, the Exiles faced the challenge of identifying what went wrong in each timeline and fixing it without knowledge of that universe's history. Sometimes forced to make difficult choices, including allowing deaths to preserve the greater timeline. An evil version called Weapon X served as antagonists throughout their journey, The series ran for over 100 issues from 2001 to 2008, exploring what-if concepts as ongoing storylines rather than one-shots, influencing how Marvel approached multiverse storytelling decades before it became central to the MCU. The Invaders. The Invaders unified Marvel's Golden Age heroes retroactively when Roy Thomas and Frank Robbins created the team in 1975, establishing that Captain America, Bucky, the android Human Torch Jim Hammond, his sidekick Toro, and Namor the Submariner fought together during World War II from 1941 to 1945. This British-American alliance operated alongside Allied forces against Axis powers, later adding members like Union Jack, Spitfire, and Blazing Skull to their roster. The team's retroactive insertion into Marvel's timeline created continuity for the company's 1940s publications, explaining how these characters interacted during their original Golden Age appearances. Operating across European and Pacific theaters, the Invaders faced Nazi supervillains, Japanese threats, and supernatural enemies attempting to exploit the war's chaos. Their adventures established crucial Marvel Universe history, including the origins of the modern heroic age and connections between World War II's heroes and their modern successors. The team reformed briefly in the modern era for specific missions when threats required their unique experience. The Invaders' existence influenced the MCU's Captain America origin story, establishing Steve Rogers' wartime adventures with Bucky Barnes and their conflicts against Hydra. Red, white, and blue patriotic imagery dominated their appearances alongside 1940s-era military equipment like period-accurate tanks and aircraft, cementing their place as Marvel's greatest generation of heroes. The Champions. The Champions existed in two vastly different incarnations, separated by decades and purpose, with the original 1975 version representing one of Marvel's strangest team compositions. Created by Tony Isabella, the Los Angeles-based team brought together Angel and Iceman, both former X-Men, alongside Black Widow, Ghost Rider Johnny Blaze, and the Greek god Hercules, in an odd mixture that never quite gelled commercially despite lasting 17 issues. The team operated from a Los Angeles headquarters as a West Coast alternative to New York-centric Avengers, but the bizarre combination of street-level heroes, cosmic entities, and supernatural riders failed to find an audience. The series was canceled in 1978 and became a cult curiosity. However, writer Mark Waid relaunched the Champions concept in 2016 with an entirely different premise. Teenage heroes Ms., Marvel Kamala Khan, Nova Sam Alexander, Spider-Man Miles Morales, Hulk Amadeus Cho, Viv Vision, and young Cyclops formed their own team after Civil War II, specifically protesting adult heroes' decision to kill Bruce Banner. This modern youth-led version proved commercially successful, representing generational conflict and youthful idealism challenging established authority. The new champions rejected adult superhero politics, establishing their own moral code. While the original champions represented 1970s experimentation, the modern version captured contemporary youth activism and social justice themes. SHIELD, the Strategic Hazard Intervention Espionage Logistics Directorate, debuted in 1965's Strange Tales issue 135 as the intelligence agency led by Colonel Nick Fury, created by Stan Lee and Jack Kirby. Operating under United Nations authority with government backing, SHIELD combats supervillains, terrorists, and cosmic threats, too large for conventional military forces using advanced technology, including life model decoys, robot duplicates indistinguishable from humans. Their mobile headquarters, the Helicarrier, is a massive flying aircraft carrier measuring 761 feet long, powered by repulsor engines with cloaking technology making it invisible to detection. Leadership changed hands multiple times throughout history. Nick Fury served longest, followed by Maria Hill. Tony Stark briefly during his government registration enforcement. Norman Osborn, who corrupted it into HAMMER during his dark reign, and Phil Coulson in MCU continuity. The organization has been infiltrated, destroyed, and reformed repeatedly, most notably after the secret invasion revealed Skrull shapeshifters had replaced numerous agents. In the MCU, SHIELD served as connective tissue across 23 films, with the helicarrier becoming an iconic visual. The agency's blue and gray uniforms, eagle insignia, and high-tech interfaces defined the Marvel Universe's intelligence community, inspiring real-world military interest in similar organizational concepts. If you want to see more, click the video on screen now.